This episode is brought to you by Ferrero. Soccer's biggest stage is approaching, and Ferrero is making it easy to go all in. Pick any two Ferrero brands from Kinder Bueno to Ferrero Rocher, and you could win the $1 million grand prize, plus an exciting range of daily and weekly prizes. Don't miss your shot. Official rules apply. Learn more at goallinandwin.com.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Half Man, the new HBO original limited series from Baby Reindeer creator Richard Gadd, examines the tumultuous relationship between two estranged brothers, tracking the highs and lows of the pair over the course of 40 years. Starring Emmy Award winner Richard Gadd and BAFTA Award winner Jamie Bell. Half Man premieres April 23rd on HBO Max.
When I was about 15, David Bowie had some new song out and it was terrible. And I was saying to my mum, David Bowie's terrible. If anyone likes David, they're an idiot. And my mum was like, take that back. And go upstairs, find Hunky Dory, put it on, listen to it, and come down and tell me what you think about David Bowie.
Hello, and welcome to another new episode of Live Through That. I'm your host, Mike Hipple, and on this podcast, we dig a little deeper into the pivotal moments that shaped the lives of some of my favorite artists from the 80s and 90s. First, I just wanted to mention that our podcast is quickly approaching our 100th episode. We've got a special episode planned for that in June, so be sure to subscribe so that you won't miss an episode. I'm so excited to have Eddie Argos on the show this week. As the frontman for Art Brut, he turned autobiographical oversharing into an art form, writing songs about his little brother, an old flame named Emily, and the joys of forming a band. 20 years after the debut record Bang Bang Rock and Roll, the band are still going strong. Today, Eddie tells us about the unexpected thing that changed him more than maybe music ever did.
Yeah, I can't even remember why I did it, but about 10 years ago, I think I was going to kickstart something or like use Indiegogo. And I thought what I can do is, as like a perk on whatever it was I was going to make, I can paint people's favorite albums and like listen to them at the same time and then write a review and then send the person the painting and the review as like a perk on a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo. But I didn't, whatever it was I was going to make, I didn't make it in the end. And I just thought, I'll just do this thing then. I'll just make these album paintings. 'Cause it's a nice idea, I thought. I mean, I love painting. I love listening to music, new music especially, and music I've not heard before. So I thought, yeah, it's a fun idea. And I thought I'd probably do about 10 of them. I thought, maybe 10 people are interested and they'll do it, and I'll do that. So I did it. And then the first one I painted was for me, because one of my favorite albums is the Mountain Goats Sunset Tree. So I painted that as a little tester, make sure I wasn't going to get in trouble. and I know John as well, so it's okay. And I put it online and said, hey, everybody, I'm doing this thing. And then almost straight away, I had 20 or 30 paintings, like people asking for paintings straight away. Yeah, and my original plan, because like the younger, I guess, version of me was quite forthright about his opinions on music. So I thought it'd be really fun to paint these paintings and give a very, very honest review. Now, if I loved it, I'd write that I loved it. And if I hated it, I thought, I'll write that I hate it. I was really my plan was to be brutally honest about everything. I mean, even though the plan itself to make these paintings, it was born out of this frustration, actually, where you always, every music magazine ever has like a 50 greatest albums ever made section, chosen by journalists. And I thought, and it's always the same. It's always Pet Sounds, number one. I'm like, oh God, no more Pet Sounds, no more, whatever, YouTube, whatever. So I was frustrated that was the germ of the idea, actually. But I thought also, because of that, yeah, I'll just be brutally honest. And I'll find out myself what the best album ever is by going through all of them. You know, other people's favorite records. The lay person, you know, not a journalist, just a person in the street. What do they like? And actually, originally, I thought I'd just get loads of Half Man, Half Biscuit and Helen Love and replacements, because those are the bands, and Carter USM, because those are the bands that I love. But actually, I got a really big, broad mix. And early on, I realized someone asked for Radiohead, a Radiohead painting. And I really don't like Radiohead. I think Radiohead might be the worst band of all time. So I was like, I was ready to write that, you know, like something, you know, about Radiohead and how they destroyed, you know, I don't like Radiohead. So I was like cackling with glee, you know, I'm gonna enjoy this one. And then, but in the email, the person said, it's the record they fell in love to their wife with, or their husband, I can't remember which round it was. And it was such a beautiful memory for them, and they couldn't wait to like put it on their wall. And I thought, I can't be like, well, I'm surprised, you know. Well, of course you met each other. You've both got terrible taste in music. I couldn't write something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, okay, if people fall in love to this record, then there must be something in it that I'm missing. Do you mean you can't fall in love to anything? So I thought, even though I really at the time did not like Radiohead, I thought, as I painted it, was OK Computer. I thought, as I painted it, I'll listen to it, and maybe something in it will speak to me, you know, and I'll look for the good thing in it that makes it popular, and or maybe makes people like it. So I did that, and I mean, in the end, what I appreciate about it was that it was like a Swiss clock or something, you know. It was so intricately put together and so well made that I couldn't. So I had to say a nice thing about it. But so I painted this Radiohead record, and I really looked deep into myself to see what I would like about it. And it was that. It was like, you know, it's so meticulous. It's like a mathematical formula or something, you know. Radiohead have really thought about their record. And most of the records that I like, my favorite records, all sound like they were made in a shed, you know, by a lunatic. So it was quite refreshing to to do that and to discover just how much, and to see what someone else likes about it. So after I did that, that was like the fourth or fifth record that I painted. After that, I decided that every record I was going to paint, I was going to look for the good in it and to find something nice to say about it. And I've done that, and I've painted. I mean, I've done it for almost this Christmas. It'll be a decade. So I've done more than 600 paintings, and I think painting 600 different things and always looking for the good in it has like changed the chemistry in my brain or something. I'm a lot more open about the music that I listen to nowadays. And like when I was younger, like especially in the early days of Art Brut, I would be like, this band's wrong or that band's wrong or I don't like this band, and point out all the flaws. But I would never do that now. You know, I've listened to so much. I don't know. And it's not just with music. I think in my life now, I look for the good in everything in a way I didn't before, I think, because of all these paintings that I've made. 600 paintings, always looking for the best thing in them. So it's and it's totally changed my life, I think. But what's really ironic is after painting 600 paintings and starting it because I didn't like the Beach Boys, or because I didn't like the Beach Boys getting all that praise, the album I found that I like the most out of all the ones that I've painted is Wild Honey by the Beach Boys. So it's like, turns out the Beach Boys are a pretty good band.
Have you had loads of people request Radiohead, or are there other artists who have been requested multiple times?
A few people. I've only painted OK Computer twice. I have, and sometimes people request albums, and I think they're looking for they know me. Like they asked for the Manic Street Preachers, who I've been quite vocal about not liking in the past, or Block Party, who I've got that fight with Kelly. So I think people maybe are like trying to goad me on, but even with those bands, even with Block Party, I mean that first record is really interesting, and I like some of it. So I found nice things, everything. I've painted quite a few Manic Street Preachers records, and I've just decided that I like them because it's like Spinal Tap covering the Clash, that sounds brilliant. But duplicates, actually the Clash. I've painted London's Calling about 15 times, which is mad because The first time I saw it, I thought that's going to be really hard to paint. And it was quite hard, but I did it. And yeah, and then people must have liked it because I've done it. That's the one I've done the most, is London's Calling by the Clash. I've done it, I think it's about 20 times now, 17 times. And after that, the second most painted is We Are Scientists, Love and Squalor. I think we have a similar crossover with our fan base. We talk with them a lot and I love them. And I've done that like 8 times. And actually, Tim Wheeler from Ash bought a copy for them, for Keith and Chris. So I painted it for them as well. And then they got him a copy of an Ash painting. So, yeah, I think, so the most I've painted is, The Clash. Then We Are Scientists. And there's this band called The Wrens, and I painted that about 4 times.
Do you try to find something different each time to write about, or do you just like copy and paste what you're writing if you're doing duplicates?
No, I'm really bad at saving the drafts. I print them out and I sign them, and I don't really. So with the We Are Scientists one, I did them all in a row actually, but I still wrote different things. But with the Clash, I don't do like 20 Clash paintings in a row. It's been like one every couple of months or something. So it's I mean, I charge the same no matter what the painting, so that makes it weird as well. So sometimes the painting won't take very long, or sometimes the painting will take me forever.
Do you have a background in art?
Not really, no. I mean, I always painted since I've just always painted, like compulsively painted, and I never used to do anything with them. I just have them in my house, just loads of paintings in my house. And then the single formed a band. Our first single, Chris and Freddie from the band were like, "Oh, Eddie, we should use one of your paintings as the front cover." I was like, "No, let's not do that." But they talked me into it, and that kind of gave me the confidence to do more with my art. I think not just to make it compulsively for me. But I mean, also I didn't sell them. I just have a house full of paintings, right? So it's there needs to be. I mean, it's the way I find it very therapeutic. It's like how I relax. If I don't paint for a long time and I'm getting quite grumpy, and then I start painting, I go, "Oh yeah, this is what it is. This is the thing that I've been missing." And I have dyspraxia. That's like I find it hard to like eye-hand coordination and things like that. So the paintings never really come out how I intend them to, or not always. So that's quite exciting too. I painted Blur Park Life for somebody, and it looks so much like the album. I don't know how I did it. I think I've accidentally become okay at painting.
What is dyspraxia?
Dyspraxia, well, it's like it goes along with things like ADHD and stuff. It's to do with brain function. So that my eye hand coordination is quite bad, and I'm not very good at sport, for example. And I think my mumbliness is a bit because of that, and it's to do with organizational skills and time management. It's all that kind of stuff. So it's not as well known as like dyslexia or ADHD or these things, but it's it's in the family, I guess. I was talking to my mum about this. We played recently in Bournemouth, and I was talking about my dyspraxia. My mum said I was such an early diagnosis that I'm in like notebooks somewhere, like there's like I'm a reference point in some books about dyspraxia. So yeah, they just noticed at school, that I was writing backwards, and then I couldn't write. All my writing was very big, and I couldn't write small, and then. Yeah, and I think I was really bad at catching things. I was late and disorganized and forgetful, and they took me to like a specialist when I was like really young, 5 or 6. So I've had dyspraxia sort of forever, really, and it's a bit more well known now. But at school, it's a bit tricky actually. People didn't believe it. They used to call it clumsy child syndrome and say that it was like bad parenting and blaming it on a thing and stuff. But people sort of understand it a bit more now. I used to always forget I had it too. So it'd be like, I'm allowed to have extra time in exams and stuff. I was when I was at school, but I would just forget to ask for it. There was a dyspraxia group in Dorset that were trying to meet up all the time, but we never managed it. It was always like, oh no, I can't. I've double booked myself, or I've forgotten something. It's quite a hard group of people to organise, I think.
You live in Berlin now. How did that move come about?
Well, it happened gradually. I had a girlfriend in Los Angeles, so I was kind of living in Los Angeles, which is weird, actually, because of the song. I guess it was inevitable. I did consider a move to LA, and then I did it. So I'd already sort of left London, even though a lot of my stuff was there. And then I was on tour. No, it was a Christmas show. I really like this band in Germany called the Robocop Kraus, and we were playing with them for their Christmas show in Nuremberg. We play in Germany quite a lot. I like it, but that time I had a really nice experience. I was in one of the Hans's flat, I think, and I was like, "Oh, I love it here. I love Germany. I'm going to move to Germany. I'm going to move to Nuremberg. Actually, I can't wait to move to Nuremberg." And they were like, "Eddie, not for you. You should not move to Bavaria. Like for you, it's either Hamburg or Berlin." And so I moved. Yeah, so I moved to Berlin. It was back. I mean, 15, 16 years ago. It was very cheap to live here, so I could pretty much live out of my art. I was DJing and I had the band still and everything. So yeah, I mean, lots of people move to Berlin for like the hedonism and to go out to the clubs and take drugs and go mad. But I just moved it as it was sort of a quiet, affordable place to paint and write. That's why I moved it. Not like an exciting reason. I wasn't like attracted to Berghain or the clubbing scene or something. I just wanted somewhere I could afford to be, where I had time to tinker around with all the things that I like to do.
Back in 2003, the mayor of Berlin called the city poor but sexy.
Yeah, there's a quote. Yeah. Berliners. I think it was. I'm doubting myself, but I think it's. Yeah, she said Berliners were poor but sexy. No, I thought it was funny too. I mean, at the time, you could be. I mean, Berlin's a bit different now, but you could be. I'm of course very sexy, and you could be. I was poor, so it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, that to me that was Berlin. Really, I loved it that I just had a bit more time to think and do things. But I mean, my life's. I mean, I've got a son here now, and my life's changed a bit. But it's still. I mean, I love it. I'm never gonna. When I come back from places now, like I just came back from a tour in the UK, I'm always so happy to be home. Oh, Berlin. I mean, I've travelled a lot in my life, and Berlin is the one really that is this big sort of spread out city, but it's like lots of little communities. It's very green. I'm not very good with nuance, and Germans aren't very nuanced. They're straight to the point. That's quite useful for me as well. So yeah, I love it here.
I've always heard a little anxiety in your songs. How do you reconcile that with your persona on stage?
It's weird. Like some people get stage fright. I think they're like afraid to go on the stage. But I have whatever the opposite of stage fright is. If I'm on stage in front of people, I'm very confident, and my mind is working on all cylinders, and I'm fine. But if I'm in real life, I'm better now actually. But in real life, I can be a bit overwhelmed. I think so. Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize there was that much anxiety in my songs. I guess there is. You're right. Rasta Guns in Milan and a few others. No, you're right. I mean, I am an anxious person. I think I get teased about, with my friends. I always think I've lost my bag or my passport, or I've said the wrong thing to somebody. So there's a bit of that in me, I think. But yeah, not on stage. Like I am so comfortable on stage, and if I don't do it for a while, I miss it. Like even in these New York shows coming up, I'm opening for Art Brut by doing a spoken word thing. So it's I am most comfortable thinking up jokes in front of people on stage.
In the beginning of the band, a lot of music writers mentioned your anti-singing style.
I knew I couldn't sing really well, but I thought I was singing. So it was really weird when I read those first reviews, and it was all like, what do they call it, Sprash Gang or whatever, like speak singing and anti-rap and stuff. It's like, oh, I mean, I knew it was weird, but I thought I was actually singing. I didn't know I was just speaking. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't hesitant. I tried everything else, I wanted to be in a band for so long, and I tried the bass and the guitar and all sorts. And one day I was listening to like, I don't know, Lou Reed or Bob Dylan or something, and I was like, well, they can't sing. I may as well just be the lead singer. I can write lyrics, so I'll just be the singer, and then. If I put the word art in the name, I can just, if anyone disagrees with what I'm doing, I can just say, well, you don't understand it. It's art. So that was that really. Well, my favourite singer is Jonathan Richman. I mean, he can sing beautifully as well. But sometimes his voice has more emotion than sing in it. You know what I mean? Sometimes he's not speak singing, but yeah, anyway, he's a big influence on me. So in my head, I was doing that. But even though I think I was a bit more talky than him.
You just mentioned that you'd wanted to be in a band for so long. Why was that?
I have no idea. It's really weird. I keep being asked this in interviews. Like, why did you want to be in a band? It's like, I don't know. It was just like this compulsion. My earliest memory is of jumping around under a table with my little brother singing "You've Done Too Much, Much Too Young," pretending to be in a band. And if I was jumping around under a table, I must have been really young, because I've been 6 foot since I was about 10 years old. So it's, I don't know. So yeah, it's all my life. It's all I've wanted. And it's funny, people that I went to school with, we just played recently in my hometown, supporting Maxima Park, and people there were like, "You tried to make me be in a band with you when we were like 11." Do you mean? So I was like, it's just, I've just always done it. I did start a band at sixth form. I had a band called the Art Goblins, and that sort of broke up, and I moved to London. So I was just always, I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, like I said, I feel really comfortable on stage. I've always, even like when I was in school plays and things, we had to write a thing when we were like 12, when we left school, and I wrote like a comedy sketch thing, and in that I just loved being on stage. So I think being in a band in my head was like the coolest way to be on stage, which I really wanted to do. And yeah, and it's working class, so you can, I didn't need to go to acting school or study something. I could just get some mates together and go for it.
Was there always music playing in your house growing up?
Yeah, I've got very young parents, and my mum was only 19 when she had me, and so like all of her records were kind of in my bedroom growing up, me and my brother's bedroom, and the record player. So if I couldn't afford to buy my own records, I would just delve into hers. There's things like the Jesus and Mary chain and The Cure, Blondie, and older stuff from her brothers. Yeah, so yeah, and yeah, my mum was always playing like mixtapes in the car and stuff. So there's always been music. I mean, my dad's a massive Bob Dylan fan, and just going to concerts, going to see Pearl Jam, going to Sepultura and stuff. My dad really is connected to like live music and stuff. So yeah, I guess it's, and my brother, makes mixtapes and loves records too. So I guess it's always been around me. When I was about 15, David Bowie had some new song out and it was terrible. And I was saying to my mum, "David Bowie's terrible. If anyone likes David, they're an idiot." And my mum was like, "Take that back. Go upstairs, find Hunky Dory, put it on, listen to it, and come down and tell me what you think about David Bowie." And I went upstairs, put on Hunky Dory, and it was amazing. And I was like, damn it. Like, she's right. And I had to come downstairs and admit I was wrong, and David Bowie was amazing. But so, yeah, all that stuff was just sort of around my house, really.
I want to hear more about these school bands you were in.
Yeah, I was the singer, and I played as a weird band. So the first show, I kind of improvised all of it with my friend Bob Oblivion, the beer poet. We had one guitar player, and then I played the Hoover, the vacuum cleaner, and I played the acoustic. Acoustically, I would play the dustpan and brush. But so that was like that version, and then it went really well. So we added like everybody that saw it sort of joined the band. So then the second one was like there were loads of people, like 4 bass players and whoever, and that one went really badly. And then out of the ruins of that, the Art Goblins became a sort of vaguely experimental Britpop band where I was, I don't know, I played the Hoover and Escape from a Sack, and Jasper, who was in Art Brut for a long time, he was also in the Art Goblins. And it was more of a drinking game than a band, I think. But it was, we play whenever I had like a big bill, like a water bill to pay or something. The Art Goblins would play. But then, I mean, I love being in the Art Goblins. I wanted to take it a bit more seriously, but they all went to university and stuff. It happened a few times, at different lineups. People kept leaving me to go to university. And after on like the third, so the Art Goblins were staying the same age, but I was getting older because the lineup kept changing when people went to university. So eventually I just followed this guy, Nicky Biscuit, the keyboard player, to London. And that's where I found Art Brut and made it a bit more serious.
Thanks so much to Eddie for chatting with us. He and Art Brut are currently wrapping up a tour of the United States, so there may be some time to catch them live. And I'll end with another quick reminder that you can buy my book on 80s musicians and where they are today, 80s Redux, and its sequel, Live Through That, on 90s Artist, wherever you buy your books. And if you like this show, please leave a review where you're listening. It always helps others find us. And of course, subscribe so that you won't miss an episode, including our upcoming 100th episode special. Thanks for listening.